incredible, Captain! How are you doing that?
You can unlock the secrets of life and death.
The MetaQuest 3 has redefined what's possible in standalone VR, bringing jaw-dropping visuals, precise tracking, and immersive experiences straight to your living room or kitchen, or wherever you awkwardly swing your arms. With hundreds of games flooding the store, separating the gimmicks from the greatness isn't easy. That's why we've put together the ultimate list. 50 of the absolute best games you must play on the MetaQuest 3. From brain-melting horror to sweat-inducing rhythm battles and fantasy adventures that punch reality in the face, these are the titles that truly make Quest 3 the king of virtual escapism. Beat Saber. Reality will come at you fast, especially when it's flinging glowing blocks at your face like a neon-infused rave decided to punch you with rhythm. This VR classic doesn't care if you're an EDM guru or a clumsy Jedi in training, because once the beat drops, it's slash or be slashed. Armed with two shimmering laser sabers, defaulting to red and blue, but who's judging if you prefer cotton candy, pink and slime green? You'll be slicing through directional blocks like you're auditioning for Tron, the musical. The challenge? Not just rhythm. It's about grace, precision, and dodging walls like someone forgot to turn collision off. Each track comes with a unique map that tests your coordination, timing, and possibly your sanity as walls, bombs, and a sea of blocks demand increasingly acrobatic moves. And when you thought you mastered it all, boom! Chains and arcs show up to humble you with follow-through mechanics and scoring that judges you harsher than Simon Cowell in 2004. Modifiers mix things up too, whether you're enabling no-fail mode to preserve your dignity or cranking it to super fast song and praying your arms don't fall off. In short, this game will turn your living room into a sweaty dance dojo of awesome.
Come on! What are they doing? What's yellow? What's yellow, man?
Among Us 3D. Nothing says friendship like deception at 60 frames per second, and now in glorious backstabbing 3D. This beloved betrayal simulator levels up from its 2D roots by tossing you into a fully explorable first-person VR environment where trust issues are the main mechanic. Be a helpful crewmate, fiddling with wires and begging the swipe card to work, or a shape-shifting imposter lurking behind your unsuspecting pals. Every match is a high-stakes theatre of paranoia. Tasks return, but this time they're reimagined for immersive gameplay that makes fixing the ship feel like you're defusing a bomb with oven mitts. Emergency meetings get juicier when you can look your accuser in the eyes or avoid eye contact while quietly plotting their demise. Add in proximity voice chat, gesture-based communications, and quick text for the shy liars out there, and you've got a recipe for peak social chaos. Need more spice? Tag mode drops in like a viral outbreak with infected players chasing down crewmates, flipping teamwork into a survival game, and the seasonal limited time events. Think of them as sabotage, but festive. Just remember, the game won't work with the original version, and Stardust won't save you when your friend screams "Reds Suz" in full 3D.
He must not be stopped. Now his chaos reigns.
Asgard's Wrath 2. Revenge never looked this mythologically epic, or this sweat-inducing. You'll be stepping into divine shoes once again, but this time your godly wrath gets shipped straight from Asgard to ancient Egypt. Betrayed by Loki, classic trickster move, you're now on a plane-hopping, deity-smacking mission to get even. But instead of just smiting from the sky, you'll be jumping into mortal avatars like a spiritual Uber driver with a grudge. Each host you control comes with their own tragic backstory, unique abilities, and enough unlockable upgrades to keep your inner RPG nerd weeping with joy. You won't be alone either. Followers jump into the fray like mythological sidekicks with their own personalities and backstories, helping you hack, slash, and solve environmental puzzles that range from clever to why does this puzzle hate me? The open world is absolutely massive by VR standards, loaded with Egyptian gods, cursed tombs, minigames, lore galore, and more loot than a Viking holiday sale. And yes, you'll actually have to earn your god-tier power through skill-based combat that'll make you dodge and swing like a caffeinated gladiator. Batman Arkham Shadow. Gotham's not burning yet, but give it a few minutes. Set between a furious past and a hope-filled future, this VR entry slaps the cowl back on a younger, more bruised Bruce Wayne, who's less symbol of hope and more walking trauma with a grapple gun. You'll feel every punch, every silent takedown, and every rooftop glide as the first-person perspective drags you right into Gotham's heart, which, surprise, is somehow even darker when you're standing inside it. This time, you're hunting the elusive Rat King, but along the way, you'll play mind games with Scarecrow, chat with Harley before she goes full Quinn, and impersonate a mobster in a prison run by a man who read The Art of War and thought it meant war crimes. The Arkham-style combat is back, baby. Flowing fists, perfectly timed counters, and stealth segments that'll have you grinning under the mask. Add in detective vision, smoke bombs, and a steady stream of gadgets, and you're a one-man SWAT team in a cape. And then there's the twisty-turny narrative, weaving through conspiracies, therapy sessions, hallucinations, and more character cameos than a DC comic convention. Just don't blink. Two-Face might still remember who you are, and he's not sending a thank you card.
Hello, human. Welcome to an accurate simulation of office worker. Time to jump. This looks like it'll taste interesting. Pistons in the engine.
Job simulator. When robots took over the world, humanity lost its grip on cubicles, coffee breaks, and copier jams, but thankfully, there's a museum for that. This hilariously unhinged VR time capsule throws you into the wild, weird, and wildly inaccurate world of pre-automation labor. Want to relive humanity's proudest moments, like throwing a donut at your boss or microwaving staplers? Then, congratulations, you're hired. You'll hop between historical jobs like office worker, convenience store clerk, auto mechanic, and gourmet chef, all lovingly mangled by the robots trying their best to remember how humans used to job. The physics system is gloriously chaotic. Slap together a sandwich made of moldy hot dogs and computer mice, fix cars by installing banana batteries, or chuck a mug at your manager when things get too realistic. It's all interactive, tactile, and absurdly fun. Plus, the infinite overtime mode keeps the grind alive with randomized tasks under the gentle glow of eternal fluorescent lighting. Spectator mode lets your friends watch and mock your job performance, and Twitch chat integration lets your live stream audience quite literally get thrown across the break room. SUPERHOT VR. Nothing like shattering red glass goons in slow-mo while dodging bullets like you're in the Matrix on a Monday morning. This isn't just a shooter, it's a puzzle, an action flick, and a full-body workout disguised as a stylish existential crisis. The moment you realize time only moves when you do, every step, head tilt, or clumsy stumble becomes a life or death decision. It's like chess with bullets. If chess had katanas, frying pans, and goons exploding into pixelated salsa, You're unarmed and outnumbered, dropped into eerily minimalist environments where guns, bottles, and the occasional shuriken become your dance partners in a slow-motion ballet of doom. No health bars, no ammo crates, just you versus physics and the eternal question: can I punch this guy before his buddy fills me with bullets? Spoiler, yes, but it'll be close. The SUPERHOT Forever update cranks the challenge to 11. Headshot-only rounds. Check. Hardcore enemy modes with less mercy than your gym instructor. Double check. The result? A VR game that makes you feel like an action hero, right before you collapse onto the couch like a sweaty bag of victory. The thrill of the fight. There's no teleporting here, chap. Just you, your fists, and a sweaty gym full of people hoping to rearrange your face. This brutally honest VR boxing experience doesn't pull punches, literally, as it turns your living room into a full-on fight club where footwork, timing, and head movement matter more than fancy combos or flashy flourishes. It's not about superpowers, it's about sweat, strategy, and maybe a slightly bruised ego. Each opponent you face comes with their own quirks. Some will dance around like they're auditioning for Rocky, the ballet, while others will come at you like caffeinated freight train. You'll dodge, parry, weave, and counter like a real boxer, or get clocked and rethink your life choices. The game calculates your punch strength, accuracy, and hit zones, so no lazy jabs or flailing windmill. If you want that knockout, you'll have to earn it the old-fashioned way, by working the body and setting up the big one. Room scale isn't recommended, it's required.
Payback is an honest-to-God force of nature.
The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners 1 and 2. New Orleans has never looked so beautifully bleak, and you're the only person with the guts, the backpack space, and the upper arm strength to stab your way through it. The original chapter drops you into a city drowning in both water and walkers, where every corner holds danger and moral dilemmas thicker than the fog. As the mysterious tourist, you'll scavenge abandoned homes, craft makeshift weapons, and decide the fate of major factions like the Tower and the Reclaimed. The physics-based melee combat is as satisfying as it is horrifying. Every jab, swing, and brain stab has weight. Choices shape the outcome. Allies are questionable, and the game dares you to ask, who do you save when everyone's got blood on their hands? Oh, and don't forget the bells. When they ring, you run. The sequel, Retribution, picks up the pace and the paranoia. With new zones, more intelligent enemies, tougher moral decisions, and a deeper dive into post-apocalyptic politics, it's survival horror dialed up to 11. Night missions introduce heart-stopping tension, and new factions bring chaos to an already fractured world. Your decisions in the first game ripple into this one, and you'll need every scrap of cunning, stamina, and hardware to endure the retribution heading your way. The question isn't just, will you survive? It's, what will survival cost this time? BONELAB. Gravity's not just a suggestion here, it's your greatest ally and your biggest threat. You'll start this one off on death row, but instead of waiting for the end, you'll punch fate in the face and sprint headfirst into a labyrinth of mystery, violence, and questionable science experiments. Beneath the gleaming weirdness of MythOS City lies an underground lab full of secrets and danger, where your only way forward is through puzzles, trials, arenas, and total physics chaos. Forget scripted animations. Everything in this world responds like it's part of reality. Your arms, your weapons, and the unfortunate enemy you just drop-kicked all follow the same rules. Swing crowbars, fling trash cans, or dual-wield guns like a gym rat, John Wick. Every motion is earned and felt. And the best part? You can import your own avatar and stats, meaning you're not just you, you're whatever you want to be. down to your noodle arms or beefcake shoulders. And just when you think you've seen it all, the game hands you a katana, a gravity gun, and dares you to jump into the void. Resident Evil 4. It all starts with a mission to save the president's daughter, but it doesn't take long before you're waist deep in pitchfork-wielding villagers, cult leaders with glow-up parasites, and bosses the size of small apartment complexes. In this VR remake of a legendary classic, the tension ratchets up as you take control of Leon S. Kennedy, America's most overqualified babysitter, plunged into rural Spain, where everyone's idea of hospitality involves axes and a parasite called Las Plagas growing out of their necks. You'll aim using your own shaky hands, reload like your life depends on it, because it does, and feel the dread in your spine every time you hear "Detrás de ti, imbécile." You're not just playing Resident Evil 4 anymore, you are Leon, flipping through attaché cases like a man desperately organizing his trauma. Inventory Tetris becomes an art form, and headshots aren't the end, they're often just the beginning of something squishier. Add in VR-exclusive interactions, precision shooting with your own body, and that same knife-happy, ammo-scarce pacing, and you've got a masterclass in immersive terror. One word of advice? Don't trust anything that twitches after it falls, especially not cult leaders with fashionably long coats. Metro Awakening. When the surface has been turned to ash and monsters roam the shadows, it's the tunnels below that hold your last shred of hope, or your final nightmare. You play as Serdar, a doctor who's more determined than equipped, trudging through Moscow's ruined metro system in search of his missing wife and some life-saving med. But let's be honest, this isn't a supply run. It's a descent into radioactive madness, mutant ambushes, and spooky spiritual awakenings that'll have you questioning which side of death you're even on. This isn't your typical pew-pew VR shooter. You'll feel the panic as your gas mask cracks mid-fight, your flashlight sputters, and your last bullet is tucked somewhere in a backpack you can barely open while hyperventilating. The combat is gritty and close, using makeshift weapons that feel duct-taped together by a guy named Vlad, who swears they work most of the time. And when you're not dealing with mutants or scavengers, you're navigating supernatural events that make the haunted tunnels feel less like a subway and more like a cursed cathedral.
Who give them the strength to achieve the impossible.
Moss 1 and 2. It's not every day that you form a heartfelt bond with a sword-wielding mouse, but once you meet Quill, you'll want to protect her like she's carrying the last slice of pizza through a dungeon. In this charming VR adventure, you're a silent spirit called the Reader, watching from above and reaching into the world to solve puzzles, move obstacles, and lend a ghostly high five when Quill outsmarts a snake 3 times her size. The world of Moss is a stunning storybook come to life, filled with magical ruins, clever puzzles, and action that feels just as much about emotion as it does swordplay. Then comes the sequel, and the stakes and verticality shoot through the treetop canopy. Moss Book 2 expands Quill's journey with new tools, weapons, and environmental mechanics that turn every level into a diorama of danger and delight. You'll build bridges out of vines, chuck around a comically oversized hammer, and backtrack through gorgeously interconnected areas to discover secrets and collectibles. The story deepens, the bond grows stronger, and the world of Moss becomes more vivid, more epic, and somehow more cozy. These they're warm, emotional mouse epics with heart, steel, and a tiny paw reaching out to you.
There's definitely something down here. Adam? Be careful, Edith. This is getting weird.
Ghost Town. If you've ever wanted to moonlight as a ghost-whispering detective with a touch of sass and a torch-wielding habit, your time has come. Set foot, or rather headset, into Ghost Town, where the dead don't just linger, they spill secrets, sass you back, and occasionally need a spectral push toward the afterlife. You'll step into the boots of Edith, a paranormal PI whose biggest problems used to be rent and mirror ghosts. That is, until her brother vanishes and a creepy clairvoyant promises answers on a storm-battered Scottish island that definitely didn't get 5 stars on TripAdvisor. This is hands-on puzzle solving at its VR finest. You'll be flipping switches, examining haunted knickknacks, scribbling runes, and even casting spells like a slightly awkward ghost-chasing Hogwarts dropout. With a controller in each hand and a torch lighting the way, every drawer, door, and dusty book might hold the key to the mystery, or unleash something way less helpful. Fireproof's trademark tactile puzzle design, yep, the geniuses behind the room, shines here. But it's wrapped in a deliciously spooky narrative filled with charm, chilling moments, and surprisingly heartfelt connections with the dearly departed. Population 1. Forget flat maps and predictable firefights. This VR battle royale is all about thinking up, not just ahead. You won't just run and gun, you'll scale skyscrapers, glide across neon valleys, and build cover mid-air like a caffeinated architect under fire. Population 1 throws you and your squad into a vibrant near-future war zone where the last team standing wins. But how you get there is a gravity-defying fever dream of strategy, chaos, and headset-flailing adrenaline. Every surface is climbable, every rooftop is a sniper's nest, and the sky is just another battlefield. Want to flank an enemy? Try flying over them. Need cover? Build a wall, while bullets fly past your ear. The unique vertical combat system turns every match into a parkour-heavy dance of death, where smart movement wins wars. And since it's built from the ground up for VR, every reload, grenade toss, and shotgun blast feels visceral, like you're in an action movie where the camera is your face. With live events, regular updates, and wild new content rolling in like a battle bus with no brakes, Population 1 isn't just VR's answer to the battle royale genre. It's the genre doing somersaults in mid-air and sticking the landing.
In the red corner, Apollo Creed, Ivan Drago, Clubber
Creed Rise to Glory, Championship Edition. If you've ever wanted to feel what it's like to get punched in the face and inspired in the same 5 minutes, welcome to the cinematic slugfest of your dreams. In this adrenaline-soaked VR showdown, you'll rise from no-name underdog to boxing royalty, with none other than Rocky Balboa barking encouragement and probably motivational metaphors from the corner. You'll fight, you'll train, sweat and bleed across a full-blown boxing campaign that feels like a mashup between a sports movie and a VR cardio workout you didn't ask for but desperately needed. The Championship Edition cranks it all up to 11. Better visuals, more arenas, cross-platform PvP for the truly brave, and a refreshed combat system that punishes flailing and rewards real technique. Dodging, blocking, and counter-punching feel fluid, brutal, and oh so satisfying when you knock your opponent into a slow-mo stumble. Vader, Immortal, Episode 3. Time to wrap up your force-fueled VR saga by doing what every Jedi in training dreams of, storming Vader's house and picking a fight with the big guy himself. Vader Immortal Episode 3 turns your shaky apprentice days into full-blown warrior glory, handing you an ancient lightsaber and force powers like you're the chosen one in a galaxy-sized action movie. This time, you're not sneaking around, you're leading the charge with a freaking army. The pace is relentless as you slice through squads of stormtroopers, clash with a particularly salty Imperial officer, and channel all your training and rage into one epic final duel with Lord Helmet himself. Every parry, push and saber swing feels heavy, cinematic and dangerous. Your surroundings, the fiery pits of Mustafar, aren't just dramatic window dressing. They're a reminder that this isn't just a fight. It's a moment, a destiny, a last stand.
Hello? I wanted to record a message for you to help you get settled in on your first night.
Five Nights at Freddy's, Help Wanted. If your idea of fun involves being trapped in a murder-themed Chuck E. Cheese while malfunctioning animatronics stalk you through vents and hallways, then this VR fright fest was tailor-made for your panic threshold. Five Nights at Freddy's, Help Wanted cranks the creepy up to 11 by throwing you, literally, into the haunted pizza empire of Fazbear Entertainment, where every flickering light and glitchy laugh signals that your doom is probably just one power outage away. You'll relive all the classics, from the original FNAF to Sister Location, now reimagined in VR, where you're no longer just watching security cams. You are the poor sap in the chair with animatronic death bears breathing down your neck. Unique minigames like Vent Repair, Parts and Service, and Dark Rooms put you in hands-on horror scenarios that demand puzzle solving under pressure and precision, while your nerves dissolve into soup.
Your anger makes you stronger.
Vader Immortal Episode 2. Ready to level up your force-fueled resume? In Vader Immortal Episode 2, things go from guest in Vader's dungeon to honorary apprentice of space's most iconic heavy breather. With Mustafar's lava-lit gloom still sizzling underfoot, you'll dive deeper into a twisted tale of ancient power, buried secrets, and extremely unfriendly droids, all while trying not to look nervous in front of Darth Vader himself. This middle chapter sharpens your lightsaber skills and unlocks new force powers, letting you yeet enemies into walls and solve puzzles like a Jedi with an engineering degree. You'll train under Vader's watchful glare, no pressure, and face off against horrifying new creatures, including a towering monstrosity that makes a Rancor look like a puppy. But it's not just about swinging your saber, it's about discovering the lore-packed mystery hiding beneath Mustafar's crust, which, surprise, might just change your destiny. The pacing is tighter, the combat is deeper, and your connection to the dark side, well, let's just say it's getting complicated. Add in Maya Rudolph voicing your droid sidekick for comic relief, and you've got a VR chapter that's equal parts horror, heroism, and hyperdrive-worthy immersion. Golf Plus. Whether you're a scratch golfer or someone who thinks par is just a polite apology, this VR experience tees up something special. Golf Plus transforms your living room into the lush, rolling fairways of world-famous courses like Pebble Beach and St Andrews, minus the plane ticket and questionable caddy advice. With a swing in one hand and your ego in the other, you'll drive, chip and putt your way through a truly immersive golfing sim that feels less like a game and more like your very own PGA fantasy camp. You'll get real gear from actual golf brands, because even virtual duffing deserves premium equipment. And whether you're playing a quiet solo round or joining a worldwide multiplayer showdown, there's a mode for every flavor of fairway. Crave competition? Climb the Golf Plus Tour ranks, or put your bragging rights on the line in battle mode. Prefer the social swing? Lounge in the clubhouse, hit up mini-games, or even watch YouTube videos while putting, because who says multitasking isn't part of the sport? With detailed swing analysis, stat tracking, and a surprisingly deep golf nerd ecosystem, this isn't just a VR golf game, it's a full-blown golfing lifestyle simulator. Just remember to stretch before swinging, or at least move the coffee table. Table tennis. This isn't your dad's Wii Sports table tennis. This is 11, the VR ping pong simulator, so real you'll start looking around for the sweatband you don't own. With physics so precise and responsive, you'll forget you're standing in your living room and start yelling "let" like you're in the Olympic finals. So if you're a paddle-swinging prodigy or someone who hasn't touched a table since your last awkward rec center date in 2009, 11 welcomes you with virtual arm and a terrifyingly accurate spin engine. You can hop into online multiplayer and battle opponents from across the globe, or sharpen your skills against AI that gets smarter and more brutally consistent the longer you play. The developers clearly sold their souls to the gods of physics, because every flick, chop, smash, and cheeky edge shot behaves exactly as it would on a real table. You'll feel the difference between a rushed topspin and a calculated slice down to your wrist muscle. No gimmicks. No fireballs, just you, your paddle, a disturbingly realistic ball, and the crushing realization that your virtual opponent might actually be a table tennis demon in disguise. This is the definitive ping-pong experience, and yes, your body will thank you later. Probably.
Except one of the guys is a dog. Who is a good boy?
Arizona Sunshine 2. Sunshine, sand, and severed limbs. Yep, you're back in Arizona, and it's somehow more zombified and delightfully unhinged than ever. Arizona Sunshine 2 doubles down on the gore and giggles with a next-gen VR apocalypse that's part road trip, part survival story, and part buddy comedy. Emphasis on buddy. Your new four-legged pal isn't just there for moral support. He'll literally rip undead Freds to shreds while you reload your shotgun and mutter something sarcastic under your breath. The action is full-on physical as you swing machetes, pump shotguns, and wield flamethrowers with VR-fueled gusto in detailed sun-bleached hellscapes that are equal parts beauty and carnage. Every zombie encounter feels like a grimy little dance of strategy and splatter, thanks to the game's new mutilation system that turns every swing, slice, and shot into a full-body anatomy lesson. And when you run out of bullets, buddy's still got your back, and possibly someone else's femur. Play solo for a cinematic survival romp dripping with dark humor. Or bring a friend along in two-player campaign co-op to scream, stab, and laugh your way to the finale. Then hop into four-player horde mode for pure chaos, because nothing says friendship like yelling "cover me" while flamethrowering Freds with reckless abandon. Walkabout Mini Golf. Welcome to the world's most magical mini-golf course, where physics are spot on, the holes are wild, and your golfing buddies can join you from any corner of the multiverse, all without stepping foot in a windmill. Walkabout Mini Golf is ridiculously addictive, combining relaxing gameplay with perfectly tuned mechanics that somehow make hitting a tiny ball into a pirate ship or UFO feel deeply spiritual. Each 18-hole course is a whimsical theme park of design genius. One moment you're putting across the treetops of a jungle temple, the next you're dodging hazards in a mechanical moon base, or solving environmental puzzles mid-putt. Lost balls and hidden fox hunts add treasure hunting layers, while night mode turns every course into a tougher, moodier remix with fresh visuals and redesigned holes that whisper, "You thought you were done. Think again." Play solo for Zen mode, or squad up with up to 8 friends for full cross-platform chaos and surprisingly competitive trash talk. With accurate physics, customizable avatars, secret balls, and DLC that practically begs for just one more round, this is VR golf at its finest. Charming, creative, and dangerously close to becoming your new nightly ritual. Warning, trick shots may become your personality. GORN. You know a game's going to be a little unhinged when the first tutorial is basically swing until everything stops moving. Welcome to GORN, the most gloriously ridiculous gladiator sim to ever combine rubbery limbs, insane physics, and more slow-mo decapitations than a medieval fever dream. This is about creative chaos. You're a beefy, oiled-up arena brute, armed with everything from spiky maces to giant crab claws. Yes, and the only goal is to paint the Colosseum red with cartoonish carnage. Every weapon feels like a wobbly extension of your rage-filled soul, and thanks to the game's beautifully broken physics engine, things never play out the same way. Enemies flail, you flail, someone's eyeball goes flying. It's basically Looney Tunes meets Spartacus in VR. Impale dudes on war hammers the size of furniture, or fling foes into walls with your bare, sweaty hands. The mayhem is only limited by your creativity or your furniture layout. It's absurd. It's savage, it's wildly inappropriate, and it's an absolute blast. GORN doesn't just break bones, it breaks any notion of serious VR combat with a grin and a gut punch. Just clear your room, because your headset isn't ready for your inner barbarian. If you've ever wanted to live your best whiskered life, chaotically scratching furniture, stealing socks, and causing mild emotional distress to a sweet old lady, then I Am Cat is your dream in full, fluffy VR form. You're not just playing a cat, you are the cat. And yes, that means knocking vases off counters like you're conducting a one feline orchestra of destruction. Granny's house is your oversized sandbox, filled with puzzles, secret passageway, and just enough fragile antiques to spark a full-blown hissy fit. You can choose to befriend Granny through stealth and charm, or unleash total feline mayhem by flinging her books, tearing up her rugs, and playing dramatic games of hide-and-seek when she starts shaking a broom. There's even a battle mechanic, because apparently Granny's not above going toe-to-paw. Beyond the destruction, there are quests and mini-games scattered across every cozy corner, from playing basketball with yarn to catching mice in timed missions that test your reflexes and your self-control not to pounce on everything. The entire house is interactable, physics-based, and unapologetically absurd.
Violent content. Parental discretion is advised.
Pistol Whip. If John Wick moonlighted as a DJ, this would be his workout playlist. Pistol Whip turns every bullet into a bass drop, throwing you into a kinetic action rhythm fantasy, with dreamlike neon visuals and thundering tracks ranging from synthwave to outlaw rock. It's a VR bullet ballet where your gun is your metronome and the music is your battlefield. Every level, or scene, becomes a cinematic shootout scored perfectly to the beat, where headshots feel earned and dodging bullets in slow motion might just give you abs. But the real beauty is in how customizable the chaos is. Want to dual wield through a robot apocalypse? 2089's got you covered. Prefer 6 shooters and steampunk trains? Smoke and Thunder drops you in the Wild West with style. With daily challenges, endless remixes from the modding community, and a fitness mode that makes you forget you're exercising, Pistol Whip is a lifestyle of dodging, diving, and dominating the rhythm. NFL Pro Era. It's fourth and long, your heart's racings, and the stadium crowd is thunder in your ears. But this time, you're not watching it on TV. You are the quarterback. NFL Pro Era brings the full Sunday experience straight to your headset, putting you under center, calling the plays, dodging defenders, and launching Hail Marys like you've got a cannon for an arm. Fully NFL and NFLPA licensed, this is a full-blown football career in VR, where every snap, read, and touchdown is controlled by you. And it doesn't stop at QB glory. You can step into the cleats of a linebacker too, reading offenses and laying down the law with game-changing hits. Between matches, you'll chill in the sandbox with friends, run mini-games, flex your defensive skills, and argue about who really deserves the GOAT title. At your personal training facility, styled like an NFL pro's dream complex, you'll collect trophies, customize your gear, and prep for your next big moment.
Open your eyes. I can't believe it worked. Sasha, is that you?
Red Matter 2. Prepare to boldly puzzle where no agent has puzzled before. Red Matter 2 drops you into the sleek, oppressive grip of a Cold War gone interplanetary, where secrets are buried in steel corridors and paranoia floats in zero gravity. As Sasha, a revived operative with a troubled past and a serious knack for solving other people's problems via hacking and tool twiddling, you'll unravel the twisted truth behind the titular Red Matter while space hopping across beautifully detailed, oppressively mysterious Volgravian outposts. With jaw-dropping visuals that push MetaQuest 3's hardware to its limit, the game wraps you in retro, futuristic Cold War vibes and never lets go. The thrill of the fight 2. Lace up those gloves again, because the thrill of the fight 2 is back and punching harder than a caffeinated heavyweight. This reimagined sequel body slams it into a whole new era. Whether you're a returning champ or a first-time contender trying to figure out how not to punch your TV, this upgraded experience hits with more realism, more depth, and a whole lot more sweat. With a brand new hotel venue to brawl in and a revamped damage system that makes every punch feel like it matters, you'll need strategy, timing, and stamina to win. The added referee voiceovers call out your fouls like an angry gym coach, adding to the immersion, and maybe the guilt. Online multiplayer has been elevated too, with ranked, casual, and sparring filters, so you can either rise through the ranks or just slap box your buddy for fun.
One truth became painfully clear. Learn this lesson well, soldier. Trust no one.
Ghosts of Tabor. If Escape from Tarkov and Call of Duty had a panic attack together inside a VR headset, Ghosts of Tabor would be the result. This is no arcade shooter. You're dropped into a relentless, high-stakes PvPvE survival hellscape where death means losing everything. You'll micromanage hunger, thirst, wounds, and your emotional stability while navigating treacherous maps like the haunting island of Tabor or the claustrophobic missile silo, all while dodging bullets, scavenging like a raccoon, and trying not to cry when your buddy gets sniped mid-loot. Every raid is a gamble. You'll start light, build up a sick armory in your safe house, and then inevitably lose it all because you got greedy and didn't extract. From silent solo infiltrations to squad-based shootouts that feel like VR war documentary, the combat is gritty, tactical, and brutal. Real VR fishing. Who knew Serenity came with a tackle box and a killer headset? Real VR fishing is the digital escape you didn't know you desperately needed, offering tranquil lakes, ocean horizons, and quiet forests that feel more like a meditative getaway than a video game. You're not here to win, you're here to chill, cast, and maybe catch a rare rainbow trout while vibing to your favorite playlist or watching YouTube from your in-game browser. Yep, multitasking has never been this relaxing. With over 40 gorgeous maps in the base game and nearly 100 unlockable fishing spots through DLC, you'll explore everything from peaceful rural ponds to cinematic Korean coastlines, all lovingly rendered in jaw-dropping photorealism. Township Tale. If you've ever dreamed of ditching the modern world to build a new life in a medieval fantasy land with your best friends by your side and a sword strapped to your hip. This is your VR playground. This ambitious sandbox RPG drops you into a forgotten, mystical realm where rebuilding a lost town is just the beginning. Whether you become a fierce warrior, a master blacksmith, or a crafting genius with a flair for fashion, your journey is entirely your own. The world is vast, beautiful, and packed with secret. You'll traverse eerie forests, torch-lit caves, and monster-infested ruins that get deadlier and more rewarding the deeper you go. With a deep crafting system and fully customizable gear, you'll prep for battle with weapons and armor forged by your own hands, colored to match your exact vibe. Climbing? That's a thing now too. After the 2022 climbing update, you can scale walls, towers, and cliff faces like a medieval Spider-Man, unlocking new challenges and rewards with every pull-up.
Don't look down, don't look down. Oh, shouldn't have looked down.
Climb 2. If you've ever looked at a skyscraper and thought, yeah, I could climb that with my bare hands, the Climb 2 is your kind of crazy. This vertigo-inducing VR platformer takes the nail-biting tension of its predecessor and ratchets it up with higher stakes, shinier towers, and a whole new set of ways to fall dramatically to your doom. You'll scale everything from serene alpine cliffs to futuristic cityscapes, gripping onto ledges while your palms sweat in real life. And not just from cardio. The mechanics are deceptively simple. Find a handhold, chalk up, don't die. But toss in hazards like rattlesnakes, crumbling rocks, sliding grips, and rotating advertising prisms. Yes, those. And suddenly, you're in a one-person obstacle course from your anxiety dreams. The new city biome brings a whole new urban flavor to your near-death experience, letting you leap between neon-lit rooftops while traffic buzzes below and your sanity slowly unravels. Cubism. If Tetris and 3D modeling had a soothing VR baby, it would be Cubism. A minimalist brain teaser that'll make your grey matter feel like it just ran a marathon, but politely. The premise is simple: fit colourful blocks into wireframe shapes. But by puzzle 5, you'll be hunched over like a sculptor, rotating abstract block clusters and muttering, "This has to fit somewhere," like you're decoding alien geometry. With 90 beautifully crafted puzzles, Cubism is the kind of game that's perfect for quiet mornings, late-night zen, or impressing friends with your sudden spatial genius. The smooth hand tracking and optional mixed reality support make it feel like you're actually building with floating pieces in mid-air. No controller clunk required. No explosions, no timers, just pure, delightful aha moments that hit harder than your first cup of coffee. Adam Savage said it best: Cubism doesn't just challenge your brain, it wakes it up and buys it breakfast.
For you that I am here, then.
Today, you are to see a traitor to the crown, hanged by the neck until dead.
Assassin's Creed Nexus. Time to stop watching from the rooftops and be the one doing the rooftop parkour. Assassin's Creed Nexus VR throws you, literally, into the hidden blade boots of Ezio, Connor, and Cassandra in the series' first ever full VR experience. You won't just see the world of Assassins. You'll climb it, stab it, and occasionally dangle off the side of it while trying not to scream in your living room. From ancient Greece to revolutionary America to Renaissance Italy, this game delivers a dizzying mix of stealth, swordplay, and sci-fi conspiracy, all from a first-person view that makes every leap of faith feel, well, way more personal. Free climb buildings, stealthily stab guards, throw smoke bombs, or full-on panic when you accidentally trigger 5 enemies with a misstep. Toss in a present-day hacking narrative that spirals into full-blown digital warfare, and you've got a VR game that's equal parts thrilling, nostalgic, and terrifyingly immersive.
Batu, the entire Outer Rim really is lawless.
Star Wars Tales from the Galaxy's Edge. If you've ever dreamed of crash landing on a remote Star Wars planet, dodging blaster fire and chatting up a giant alien bartender mid-chaos, Tales from the Galaxy's Edge delivers all that with the immersive flair only VR can pull off. Set on Batuu, aka Black Spire Outpost for the lore nerd, it starts with your ship getting absolutely wrecked by the Guavian Death Gang, because of course it does, and quickly escalates into a blaster-filled adventure packed with iconic Star Wars charm and surprises around every dusty corner. You'll shoot, scavenge and explore while rubbing elbows with colourful locals like Cecil Slack, a cantina-dwelling storyteller who'll send you spiralling through tales from across the Star Wars timeline. The Last Call expansion ups the stakes with treasure hunts, darker missions, and a guest appearance from the enigmatic Doc Ondar, giving you even more reason to dive back in and keep your blaster handy. Physics Lab. Forget guns, swords, or fancy gadgets. This time, the only thing you need to conquer the world is your hands. Hand Physics Lab is a wildly creative and often hilarious playground that turns your fingers into your primary tools for solving puzzles, painting, petting cats, and yes, even high-fiving your own creepy digital clone. With over 80 tactile challenges, this is a full-on finger-flexing boot camp, disguised as a delightful VR fever dream. You'll sculpt, build, stack, grab, draw, slap, shake, and maybe even wave awkwardly at a ghost hand, all while experiencing just how weirdly expressive virtual hands can be. Want to paint an egg with your index finger? Totally possible. Use telekinesis to levitate blocks? You bet. Accidentally knock everything over with a dramatic gesture? Absolutely. Pavlov Shack. If you've ever wanted to reload a gun so realistically it makes your hands sweat, or yell, "I swear I'm innocent," during a murder mystery gone sideways, Pavlov is your ultimate VR battlefield and social deduction playground. This team-based multiplayer shooter blends realism with chaos across a buffet of modes, from high-stakes search and destroy to trust-breaking deception in Trouble in Terrorist Town, TTT. It's tactical one moment, unhinged the next, and endlessly replayable no matter your loadout or your alibi. With over 65 interactable weapons and attachments, every firefight is a masterclass in VR gunplay. You'll manually chamber rounds, steady your aim, and realize too late that you forgot to cock your rifle mid-combat. And just when you think you've mastered the arsenal, boom! Now you're in a World War II tank, driving across Stalingrad while your buddy screams about flanking routes. Gun Club VR. If you've ever dreamed of holding a perfectly modelled MP5 in one hand and a .44 Magnum in the other while pretending you're in John Wick's prep montage, Gun Club VR is where those dreams get locked, loaded and recoil-kicked into reality. This is an armory simulator that practically smells like gunpowder, minus the nose damage. With hyper-detailed weapon models based on real-world ballistics, you'll feel the satisfying click of every reload, every safety switch, and every absurd magazine attachment you unlock. But it's not just about standing still and popping paper targets, unless that's your thing. Gun Club VR throws in scenario-based challenges like hostage rescue missions, rapid-fire trials, and yes, the occasional zombie apocalypse. Just you, your fully tricked-out shotgun, and a wave of undead meatbags. Pure bliss.
Has some of the most high-tech weaponry in Dr. Zor's considerable arsenal. Naturally, we'd like to poke at it a bit. This mission will afford you every opportunity to die in peculiar and interesting ways.
I expect you to die. They expect you to die, and frankly, they mean it. But what they don't expect, your uncanny ability to solve puzzles while trapped in a car filling with poison gas or sitting across from a ticking nuclear sandwich. I Expect You to Die turns every Bond fantasy into a full-blown escape room fever dream, and you, Agent, are the only thing standing between global chaos and a clean mission file. Armed with telekinesis, a suspiciously calm British narrator, and a desk drawer full of gadgets, and sometimes grenades, you'll navigate 7 hilariously deadly missions filled with lasers, spies, and one very smug villain named Dr. Zor.
Fighter destroyed. This is Commander. Focus on the target. Target destroyed.
Warplanes, WW1 Fighters. If you ever wanted to literally throw bombs out of a cockpit using your bare VR hands while dogfighting across the trenches of the First World War, then buckle that flight harness. You're airborne in Warplanes, WW1 Fighters. With 20 authentically recreated planes, each ready to be manually piloted, bombed, and barrel-rolled, you'll blast through immersive campaigns as both Central Powers and Triple Entente. The game adjusts to your style. Chill with arcade ease, or go full war simulation mode with realistic physics, manual landings, no HUD, and merciless AI that treats you like yesterday's toast. Want to dual-wield a flare gun and a bomb while yelling Geronimo mid-air? Yeah, you can. The Room VR, a dark matter. Ever felt like being sucked into a cursed puzzle box wrapped in Egyptian mystery and British fog, all while your brain screams, "What sorcery is this?" Welcome to The Room VR, dark matter, a hypnotic descent into tactile enigma that'll have you questioning reality and your own sanity by the end of its dusty, artifact-laden journey. Set in 1908, London, you're not just solving the disappearance of an Egyptologist, you're slipping between dimensions like a detective in a Lovecraftian Spielberg fever dream. From dark crypts to impossible machines, every object feels handcrafted. Every secret tugging you deeper into something much older than time. Forget just unlocking puzzles, you're unlocking realms. What makes this one hit differently in VR is the atmosphere. A thick, immersive mood you can almost breathe in, carved with ominous whispers and eerie detail. Shave and stuff. There's never been a salon quite like this, where barbers become artists, mistakes grow back with a spray, and tattoos are just another day's work on the job. Shave and Stuff will put you in the barber chair as the all-powerful master of hair, ink, and utter chaos, blending wild creativity with satisfying ASMR vibes and cartoon absurdity. You'll trim beards, shape mohawks, and carve gradients like a follicular Michelangelo. But just when you think you've ruined everything, boom, hair-growing spray saves the day. Messed up the tattoo you just inked onto someone's butt cheek. No sweat. Just roll it clean like it never happened. The game's vibe is equal parts silly and soothing, like giving a bear a fade while relaxing to the hum of clippers and client snores. The climb. Strap in, chalk up, and prepare to hang by your fingertips like a caffeine-fueled mountain goat. The climb will throw you off cliffs and call it a vacation. Originally launched as one of VR's early showpieces, this game is still a white-knuckle ride of pure vertigo magic that'll make your palms sweat more than your gym membership ever did. Using hand-tracked Oculus Touch controls, you'll claw your way up epic vistas from canyons to alpine cliffsides. But it's not just about grabbing the next ledge. You'll need to manage stamina, time your jumps, chalk up mid-climb like an action hero, and sometimes even leap off a mammoth skull or a crashed plane's rotor blade. It's basically what happens when free solo meets Wipeout, minus the lawsuits. The game's advanced routes introduce pure chaos, crumbling holds, dirty grips you have to wipe off, and stamina-sapping death traps.
Play games together. Explore hundreds of thousands of player-created rooms.
Rec Room. If VR had a giant theme park, where you could roller skate with pirates, sword fight in space, or attend a Bob Ross cosplay rave, it would be this wildly chaotic, endlessly social universe. You could be hosting a stand-up comedy night 1 minute, and dodgeballing like a caffeinated maniac the next. You can jump in, whether you're rocking a Meta Quest 3 or scrolling through a phone in your pajamas. The avatar customization is wild enough to make you feel fabulous in a tutu, a spacesuit, or both. And the Maker Pen. It's like giving every player a god-tier paintbrush, letting you build roller coasters, battlegrounds, haunted houses, or anything else your brain can barely explain.
There's been an uptick in Zoraxis activity, so you've got a lot of work to do. We're counting on your skill and cunning. In this time, Agent?
I Expect You to Die 2, The Spy and the Liar. The second installment of the beloved spy puzzle VR series doubles down on all things diabolical, from murderous trapdoors to evil theatre productions starring a suspiciously charismatic celebrity. With Zoraxis convinced you're 6 feet under, it's the perfect time to put on a disguise, flex those telekinetic fingers, and infiltrate their twisted global domination plot, with bonus theatrics and a killer baritone opening number, literally. I Expect You to Die 2 doesn't just play like a love letter to 70s Bond. It is the cocktail-sipping, laser-dodging, theme-song-blasting espionage fantasy you never knew VR needed. With 6 bombastic missions, endless props to poke at, food to unnecessarily eat, and Will Wheaton whispering sweet spy secrets, this game transforms sitting still into an adrenaline-fueled spectacle of wits and wit.
Hey! Whew. I need to take a bathroom break. Just stay here for a minute. What? Did you ask what that panel's for? Oh yeah, don't worry about that panel.
Please, don't touch anything. The instructions scream, do not touch anything. So naturally, your first instinct, slam that button like your VR headset depends on it. What follows is not just chaos, it's a slow descent into mind-warping logic puzzles, nukes, demons, alien invasions, and the creeping realization that maybe you really shouldn't have touched anything, but you're going to keep doing it anyway. Please, Don't Touch Anything takes place in a single claustrophobic room, but unfolds like a fever dream of secret endings and apocalyptic oopsies. With 25 cleverly hidden puzzles, this is less a game and more a test of your stubbornness, curiosity, and willingness to turn levers until the world explodes. It's like working IT help desk for a nuclear warhead, pixel art edition.
Do as I command.
Is there any version of this plan that doesn't end up with us being dead?
Vader Immortal Episode 1. The journey kicks off when you get snatched by the big guy himself, Vader, deep-voiced and cape-dramatic as ever. Turns out you're a descendant of Lady Korvax, and your bloodline holds the key to unlocking a powerful artifact called the Bright Star, which once turned Mustafar into a barbecue pit of doom. Naturally, Vader wants it to resurrect Padme because, grief, obsession, and questionable life choices. One focuses on mastering the lightsaber, another on wielding the Force to throw things or people across the room like a Jedi with road rage, and the finale puts it all together for an epic confrontation. When you're not unraveling ancient secrets or awkwardly standing in Vader's dramatic silence, you'll be slicing through training droids in the endlessly replayable lightsaber dojo mode, easily one of the best wave combat sandboxes in VR.
Rise, brave warrior.
Blade and Sorcery Nomad. This game slams the door shut on janky, floaty VR sword fights and throws you head first into a savage medieval fantasy world where every swing, stab and spell feels as real as your sore arm. Forget the old wiggle sword era. This is raw, physics-driven combat where your blade doesn't pass through enemies like ghosts. Nope. It bites, clashes and crunches with weight, resistance and horrifying satisfaction. Everything from weapons to ragdoll physics is tuned to make you feel like a deadly improvisational maniac. Want to grab a soldier by the neck and yeet him off a ledge? Go ahead. Slam two enemies together like cymbals? Absolutely. Cast a lightning bolt while dual-wielding swords and wearing a bear helmet? That's Tuesday. And that's 50 absolute bangers that prove the MetaQuest 3 is a portal to other worlds, better realities, and much cooler alternate lives. Get busy slicing beats, climbing skyscrapers, cooking under pressure, or taking down zombies with style. There's a game here to match every mood, taste, and arm-flailing level. As the VR landscape continues to evolve, this list will too. But for now, these titles stand tall as the best of the best. So charge up that headset, tighten your straps, and get ready to disappear into greatness, because VR has never felt this real.